them singing. Nobody said how could they, though, that this is how the dream would go. And I don't know, but I feel my time is coming. My time is coming. And I'll keep on traveling this path, though it may be steep. And I'll keep on fighting my fears, though they may run deep. I'll keep on singing. I'll keep on singing. It's 30 feet up in the air. I'm standing on a wire somewhere between the ground of safety and the heavens. I can't look down, I can't look back. I'm finding it hard to keep track. I must keep focused on the place I'm going, or where I'm going. And I'll keep on traveling this path, though it may be steep. And I'll keep on fighting my fears, though they may run deep. I'll keep on singing. I'll keep on singing. Sometimes these old records in my mind leave me feeling the faith is hard to find. But enough of you say what I'm trying to do can't be done. I just gotta run. I'll keep on fighting my fears, though they may run deep. And I'll keep on traveling this path, though it may be steep. I'll keep on singing. I'll keep on singing. I'll keep on traveling this path, though it may be steep. And I'll keep on fighting my fears, though they may run deep. I'll keep on singing. 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 I'll keep on
Good morning. That was the amazing Bettman and Halpin, Stephanie Bettman and Luke Halpin. So glad to have you back with us today, and we'll be hearing more from them a little bit later. So good morning. Thank you all for being with us this morning, wherever you are. Hope you're comfortable in your PJs or whatever is good for you. And so glad that you chose to join us this morning here at Unity Spiritual Center, Denver. We are so blessed to have you with us today. If you're new to Unity, we invite you to come and be a part of our community. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your spiritual journey or in your life journey, you are welcome to be a part of our community. We are an open, loving, affirming community, and we invite you to come anytime. When we open our doors, which hopefully will be soon, we would love to welcome you in. So thank you again for being here today. And we have a creed that we say here at Unity Spiritual Center Denver every Sunday. It is our God is love, our race is human, our faith is oneness. And so I invite you to say that with me now. Our God is love, our race is human, our faith is oneness. Thank you. And today is a special day. It is Father's Day. And I know that it's different for many people, that maybe your father has transitioned from this plane to his next experience of eternity. Maybe your father was an absentee father. Maybe your father wasn't maybe the kindest, gentlest father figure. So I know that can be challenging for many of us. But I want to say Happy Father's Day. To those of you who are earthly fathers, and to those of you who are what do I want to say? Surrogate fathers, those of you who are father figures in somebody else's life. It's just a reminder that we are all fathers of the world's children, and it's important for us to remember that, I think. So to add a little levity today, I thought I would share this with you. It's the top 10 things you'll never hear a dad say. The top 10 things you'll never hear a dad say. Number 10. Well, how about that? I'm lost. Looks like we'll have to stop and ask for directions. Have you ever heard your dad say that? Number 9. You know, Pumpkin, now that you're 13, you'll be ready for unchaperoned car dates. Won't that be fun? Number 8. I notice that all your friends have a certain hostile attitude. I like that. Number 7. Here's the credit card and keys to my new car. Go crazy. Number 6. What do you mean you want to play football? Of course, that would be to a boy. Your mother and I, number 5, your mother and I are going away for the weekend. You might want to consider throwing a party. Number 4. Well, I don't know what's wrong with your car. Probably one of those doohickey things, that makes it run or something. Just have it towed to a mechanic and pay whatever he asks. Number 3. No son of mine is going to live under this roof without a tattoo. Now quit your belly aching and let's go get one. Was that number 3? That was number 3. This is number 2. Why do you want to get a degree? You should just be a musician. And the number 1 thing you'll never hear a dad say, what do you want to go and get a job for? I make plenty of money for you to spend. So I hope you enjoyed that. Maybe your father said some of those things. I know mine didn't. So happy Father's Day once again. So now as we take time to go into prayer, I invite you to sing along with me as Alita in our song, Surely the Presence. Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place. So if you're in a place where it's comfortable to close your eyes, I invite you to do that now. As we take time to sit, to relax, to be still, and to align our thinking, align our feeling, align our physical energy with that one life, that one light, one love that is living itself in this moment through each and every one of us. And so in this moment, we just breathe into the awareness of that life right here and right now. And we allow that life to fill us up with pure light and pure love as we remember our truth and as we claim our truth. And as we know it, as we claim it for ourselves, we claim it for each other. We know there is only that one life expressing as all creation. And we know it is in that one life that we are joined as one. And we celebrate that knowing. And together we hold all of those around the globe today who are experiencing some dis-ease or imbalance or disruption in their life experience that may be causing them pain or sorrow or any discomfort. We hold them in our hearts. We share that energy of life and love with them, knowing that they are uplifted. Knowing as they are uplifted, we are all uplifted. And we are grateful for that knowing, and we're grateful for our willingness to align to that life and that love in this moment, and to be that life in every moment. We know that we are blessed and we are a blessing in the world, and so it is. Amen.
There is something in the feeling of being taken as you are, of a love without condition, as special as a star. There is something in the feeling of you can do no wrong that fills the heart with joy and makes the spirit strong. Feels like coming home, to a home I've never known, where the need to do and prove simply falls away like stone, and all there is to do is nothing more than be, and the person that you know is nothing less than me. There is something in the feeling of you are not alone that makes me full of gladness and makes the heart feel known. There is something in the feeling of a generous laugh, of the motion in the river, of a well-worn gravel path that feels like coming home, to a home I've never known, where the need to do and prove simply falls away like stone, and all there is to do is nothing more than be, and the person that you know is nothing less than me. And when I pass beyond this life that we can see, to the place that no one knows, that vast eternity, there's something that my heart somehow already knows. The place that I will find will feel like coming home. Feels like coming home, to a home I've never known, where the need to do and prove simply falls away like stone, and all there is to do is nothing more than be, and the person that you know is nothing less than me. Feels like coming home, to a home I've never known, where the need to do and prove simply falls away like stone, and all there is to do is nothing more than be, and the person that you know is nothing less than me. The person that you know is nothing less than me.
What a beautiful song. Thank you for choosing that and for singing that for us today, Stephanie and Luke. This week, I heard some feedback that there are some people who think I've been talking too much about race. And if you're watching, please don't turn me off already. I invite you to stick around if you're one of those people, and because I want you to know that feedback was a real gift for me this week in many ways, and I'm going to share a little bit with you about why that was such a gift to me. And I also invite you to stick around because I think that it's important for us to come together as a community and to be together in this what's happening in the world around us today, and to be agents of transformation and light in the world. And I hope that what I want to share with you today will help us to be more aware of that. I want to be very transparent with you and very honest with you about my reaction to that feedback. It was very interesting to me. Interesting is kind of a nondescript word, isn't it? It was a growth opportunity, a learning opportunity for me. Because what happened in the moment that I received that feedback, I wish I could say I just shared love and light and was in a beautiful, peaceful, loving place. But that's really not what happened. Because what did happen, before I could even recognize what was going on, what happened in my mind was defensiveness, justification, separation, all of those things that arose in me in that moment when I had this idea that somebody was not enjoying or not appreciating what I had to share. And I think like, of course I'm talking about race. Isn't everybody talking about race? What else should we be talking about? You know, that whole defensive thing. And justification about that. Well, I guess I must be doing my job if I'm upsetting some people. That's part of my job, right? Or this idea of separation. Well, I'm sure it was just one or two people. I'm sure everybody else really was in line with what I had to say. All of those things that came up. And then what comes up for me, how I react sometimes when I receive what I perceive as criticism, is that then I will start to backtrack. Oh, well, maybe I am talking about race too much. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about those things so much. Maybe I shouldn't be stimulating somebody. Maybe I shouldn't be upsetting other people. So maybe I'll think about that. And the other thing that happens for me is that I try to spiritualize. You know, it's just, oh, well, and this is so funny. This is what happens. Is that I will say to myself, oh, well, I'm just at such a high vibration that other people aren't relating to that. Now, I'm being very honest and real with you here. But that's the stuff that comes up for me just in that moment when I hear something like that. And in that moment, or a few moments later, This is another thing that I hesitate to reveal to you, but it's true, is that I sat down in that moment soon after I finished that phone call, and I said, by God, I'm going to write a message, I'm going to write a lesson that's going to teach those people exactly what they need to know. And I did. I wrote from that place of anger and fear and all sorts of things. But that's not the lesson I'm going to give to you today. I probably will burn that one. But just to be honest about that, that's what came up for me. Now, again, I want to say that if you are one of those people, please don't change the screen or go somewhere else. But because I want you to hang around, because I really do believe that that was such a gift to me as I was able to move through it. And the way I moved through it was, again, I went down to my handy-dandy, trusty meditation cushion that I told you about, and I sat down and got quiet, and I took a deep breath, and what came to me was that those reactions are the blocks, the way I block my heart from really feeling what was going on in me. That when I get into those defensive mental attitudes, that I'm blocking this experience. And so I was encouraged in my meditation to take a deep breath, breathe into my heart, and really just feel my heart opening. And I did that. And what I experienced as I opened my heart was not anger or frustration, it was pain. I got in touch with pain. And when I got in touch with the pain, then a lot of other pain showed up for me. And I was able in that moment to more fully connect with the pain that is happening in the world. But what I learned from that is that I don't really want to feel pain. And what I believe about that is that most of us don't really want to feel pain. We think that anger is strong, anger is strength, and pain is weak. Anger is easier to experience for us sometimes. Pain is hurtful. But if we don't feel the pain, then that pain is this energy that we hold on to and that gets stuck in our energy field. It gets stuck around our hearts. In his book, The Untethered Soul, Michael Singer talks about that. And the Buddhists call that blockage a samskara. That when we don't allow ourselves to feel whatever we need to feel in the moment, and very often a lot of us don't feel pain or don't want to feel the pain, and so that pain gets stuck in there. Eckhart Tolle in The Power of Now, many of you are familiar with that book. He talks about it as our pain body. He says, as long as we are unable to access the power of now, every emotional pain that you experience leaves behind a residue of pain that lives on in you. It merges with the pain from the past, which was already there, and becomes lodged in your mind and body. This, of course, includes the pain you suffered as a child caused by unconsciousness of the world into which you were born. This accumulated pain is a negative energy field that occupies your body and mind. if you look on it as an invisible entity in its own right, you are getting quite close to the truth. It's the emotional pain body. And I believe I would say we all have a pain body. Maybe not everyone, but I would say the vast majority of us have a pain body. That energy that we haven't yet allowed to move through. And as I thought about that more, I thought about everybody has one. That when people get together in a group of people, then they create this collective pain body, which he also talks about. And I believe Unity Denver has a pain body. I think if we really look at it, we can witness the pain body that is caused from losses, disappointments, pain that happened within the community that was not fully expressed and processed. And I can probably cite some things that have happened since I've been here that have created some pain for some people. America has a pain body. Think about it. America is made up of people. And so everybody in America has a pain body. And we come together, we have this collective pain body. That pain body of America has been caused by, yes, the genocide of the indigenous people, by wars, by slavery, by the assassination of presidents and other leaders like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. and others, by 9/11. All of that is added to this collective pain body. And think about it this way, too, that the black community in this country and around the world has a collective pain body. From years of oppression, years of injustice, years of atrocity, centuries of atrocities inflicted upon the black community, people of color. And so there's a pain body. And when something happens that triggers that pain body, then we react, just like I did, or very similar ways. We get defensive. We want to lash out. We want to defend. Maybe I said that already. And we see that happening today. The triggers that happened in secession recently with the murder of Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and then George Floyd and then the woman Amy Cooper who had the incident in Central Park. And then most recently in Atlanta, Rayshard Brooks. And so all of these incidences, all of these things have triggered this pain body that we're holding on to because we haven't really moved through the pain because we don't want to. But I believe if healing is going to happen within ourselves, within our communities, within our country, within the cultures within our country, that we must take action to heal our own pain bodies one person at a time. I want to share with you something that Michael Singer does say in The Untethered Soul. If I can read it, I forgot to bring my glasses today, so I will try my best to read this. He says, one of the essential requirements for true spiritual growth and deep personal transformation is coming to peace with pain. No expansion or evolution can take place without change, and periods of change are not always comfortable. Change involves challenging what is familiar to us and what does that say? Familiar to us and daring to question our traditional needs for safety, comfort, and control. This is often perceived as a painful experience. Your entire personality is built upon ways of being, thinking, acting, and believing that are developed to avoid pain. The psyche is built upon avoiding pain, and as a result, it has a fear of pain as its foundation. That is what causes the psyche to be. You will come to see that any behavior pattern based upon the avoidance of pain becomes a doorway to the pain itself. So what he's saying is any personal transformation, any evolution, any spiritual growth, any spiritual enlightenment requires our willingness to go into that pain. And I've been listening to things on television. I watched the Oprah Winfrey 2-night special. I've listened to other people talk about what's going on, the racism in our country and really around the world. And I have yet to really hear somebody talk about pain. And for good reason. Because we don't know what to do with it. We avoid it. We fear it. But for us to truly heal, I believe we have to go into our own pain. And we can. But how do we do that? Really, it's one word. It's compassion. I want to share with you something that Brené Brown shares in her book, The Gifts of Imperfection. You would know I would forget my glasses on a day that I'm doing more reading. That's just the way it works. She says, to prepare for writing my book on shame, I read everything I could find on compassion. I ultimately found a powerful fit between the stories I heard in the interviews and the work of American Buddhist nun Pema Chodron. In her book, The Places That Scare You, Chodron writes, quote, when we practice generating compassion, we can expect to experience the fear of our pain. Compassion practice is daring. It involves learning to relax and allow ourselves to move gently toward what scares us. What I love about Chodron's definition is her honesty about the vulnerability of practicing compassion. If we take a closer look at the origin of the word compassion, we see why compassion is not typically our first response to suffering. The word compassion is derived from the Latin words pati and cum, meaning to suffer with. I don't believe that compassion is our default response. I think our first response to pain, ours or someone else's, is to self-protect. We protect ourselves by looking for someone or something to blame. Or sometimes we shield ourselves by turning to judgment or by immediately going into fix-it mode. Chodron addresses our tendency to self-protect by teaching that we must be honest and forgiving about when and how we shut down. In cultivating compassion, we draw from the wholeness of our experience, our suffering, our empathy, as well as our cruelty and terror. It has to be this way. Compassion is not a relationship between the healer and the wounded. It is a relationship between equals. Only when we know our own darkness well can we be present to the darkness of others. Compassion becomes real when we recognize our shared humanity. And so as we look at, use Marianne Williamson's term, healing the soul of America, or really healing the soul of humanity, I think it's vitally important for us to be aware of this pain body that many of us, most of us, don't want to acknowledge. But like Tolle says, it's like this separate entity that follows us around everywhere. And we live our lives defending against somebody touching our pain body, triggering our pain. And so that's why we don't practice self-compassion. And when we don't practice self-compassion, we cannot practice compassion with other people. And I believe that is what is being called for. Because we are truly on a precipice of transformation, I believe, change in our society. We can't legislate the change. We can pass laws and make legislation that helps to eliminate some of the activity, but we are not going to experience the deep change, the deep healing by doing things on the outer. It does require us to go within, to feel the pain, to allow the pain, to open to the pain, ours, each other's, and certainly right now, the Black community. So no, I don't think it's time for us to stop talking about this. I think this is the time for us to continue talking about this, but not blaming someone else, not trying to fix it out there, not defending ourselves. I know it's big stuff. It is big stuff. And it's not easy. It's not pretty. But I think we can do this. And it requires our willingness to be present with our own pain. To recognize, yeah, there's pain there. To allow the pain to be there. To maybe take some time to investigate the cause of the pain, where the pain got stimulated in the first place. To acknowledge that, yes, I have pain. Unresolved, unfelt, unprocessed pain. And nurture ourselves in that pain. I just started reading a book by Tara Brach called Radical Compassion. And in that book she outlines a 4-step process, which I think I just sort of delineated in my description, but it's RAIN, R-A-I-N. Recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. Be with ourselves. And when we be with ourselves, be in that place of experiencing whatever is coming up for us, be present in it, then presence arises in that space. When we're no longer pushing against, no longer resisting, no longer defending, but we're simply there in that place. And presence can arise in that place of deep connection and contemplation. And when we are willing and able to do that for ourselves, then we can be willing and able to do that for each other. So I just invite us to explore compassion. Being compassionate with ourselves, having empathy for ourselves, and allowing ourselves to dissolve, transmute that pain body that is blocking our hearts. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to say today. So I invite you to take a moment, if you're in a place where it's comfortable to close your eyes, I invite you to do that. Again, taking a deep breath, and as you breathe in, I invite you to allow that breath to move all the way down into your heart space. Inviting that heart space to open wide. To know that you are safe in this moment to allow your heart to be open, to experience, to feel, to be present. And I want to invite you to see in front of you this entity of the pain body, the energy. It's just energy that is held there. To witness the pain, to allow the pain to be present. To see what arises. Just allowing it to be. And investigate, what are you feeling? What arises in your body? How does your body feel? What's going on in your mind? Being, allowing presence to arise within you, to be the witnessing presence within you. And then I invite you to allow that love, light, that energy of love to flow out from your heart and embrace this energy field of the pain body. Knowing that love is an energy, love is a frequency, love transmutes other energy as we allow that love to enfold the pain. To know that we are loved, we are love expressing. To truly extend compassion to ourselves in this moment for our own pain. At whatever level we are ready and willing to do that today. And then I invite you to bring to mind a person, a group of people, a culture of people. Maybe it is the indigenous people. Maybe it is the black community. Maybe it is black people around the world. Maybe it is your parent, your brother, your sister, a friend. And I invite you to take a breath, and as you breathe in the pain of the other. And allow that to move into your heart. Allow the love that is present there to transmute that pain. And as you breathe out a blessing. Breathe out what you believe that person or those persons or that group of people are calling for. What do they need? Safety, security, connection, housing, food, love, peace. And know that you are a blessing as you share that energy with the others. And so as we take a moment, just a short time in the silence, I invite you to continue that. Breathing in the pain or suffering of others and breathing out love as a blessing. Breathing in and breathing out. And now just take a breath, breathing back into your heart, centering yourself there, allowing that love to fill you up, to enfold you, to lift you. I surrender. I allow. I surrender. I receive, I know, I release, I let go. I receive, I know, love, joy, peace, love, joy, peace. And breathe. Breathe back into this place, back into your body, back into this time. Feel yourself grounded, breathing all the way down through the bottom of your feet. And so it is. And now is a time in our service where we share from our good to support the work that we're doing here at Unity Spiritual Center Denver. And I want to say thank you to all of you who continue to support us financially through your gifts, through online and sending in your checks. And we have a few people that do text to give, and so we appreciate that. There are many ways for you to donate. So thank you for that. And so now let's say our offertory blessing together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am thankful.
There is a wall called right and wrong that severs you from me. And there is a fear of the unknown that colors all we see. But the seeds of love are planted, and I know they will grow to show us different visions of the things we think we know. Like a vine, it will cover any wall that we can raise. Like the redwoods, it will tower higher than the fear we praise. Choking out the weeds of hate, its roots will still extend. For it all comes back to love in the end.
There is a knife called judgment that cuts the ties that bind, and an illness known as prejudice that poisons both our minds. But the seeds of love are planted if we can let them be. We'll share the fruits of loveliness that grow upon the tree. Like a vine, it will cover any wall that we can raise. Like the redwoods, it will tower higher than the fear we praise. Choking out the weeds of hate, its roots will still extend. For it all comes back to love in the end. But they must be tended. The seeds of love, if we want the seeds of love, they must be tended. The seeds of love, oh, the seeds of love. Like a vine, it will cover any wall that we raise. Like the redwoods, the seeds of tower higher than the seeds of love. Choking out the weeds of hate, its roots will still extend. For it all comes back to love in the end. And like a vine, it will cover any wall that we can raise. Like the redwood, it will tower higher than plucking out the weeds of hate, its roots will still extend. For it all comes back to love in the end. Ooh, it all comes back to love in the end. They must be tended. Seeds of love. If we want them to grow, it all comes back to love. It all comes back to love. It all comes back to love in the end.
Again, thank you, Stephanie and Luke, for being here. We appreciate you. Hope you come back soon. Actually, you are coming back soon because you'll be here in July 19th. So we know you'll want to tune in for that when they're back. And also, please stay tuned for the children's message. Natalie's presenting a message at 11. And then if you have children or parents of children and you'd like to be a part of the Zoom call, there's a Zoom call for children at 11:30. There's no fellowship call today. We're now doing alternating children's Zoom calls and fellowship. So next week, we will have another fellowship call. So again, thank you for being with us today. I invite you to join me as we say our closing prayer. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and so it is. And now join me as we sing our closing song, Love Can Move the World. Love can move the world as the moon in the sky moves the sea. Love can cause the wars to cease. Love can move this world to peace. It's a tide that begins with you and me.